What's up, everybody? Today is going to be a bit of a different video than the content that I would normally post to this channel. A couple of days ago, chess grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky died at the age of 29. For those of you who don't know who Daniel was, he was a extremely gifted chess grandmaster, commentator, and teacher. And he was the best chess teacher on the internet. I learned pretty much everything that I could from this man. I have watched every single speedrun video he's ever posted, and he is largely responsible for helping me and thousands of other people get good at the game of chess. This guy brought his best foot forward to the community with every piece of content that he published, everything that he was in, and clearly there was something wrong. And people noticed that in his last stream. And I just want to point out what was likely wrong. This video isn't about Danya. I hope he's up there playing chess with Mikhail Tal, God rest his soul. But this video is about somebody else. Somebody that I find to be one of the most morally reprehensible people on the internet. At least when it comes to the chess scene. His name is Vladimir Kramnik. He is an ex-chess world champion, and probably the biggest piece of shit, or at least one of the biggest piece of shits of the modern era. Now, why am I saying this? That would be because this man is likely, in a large part, responsible for the reason that Danya is no longer here. For those of you who don't know enough about Daniel or chess or anything, and you're just clicking on this because you wanted to see what this is about, Danya is a nickname that Daniel would go by. So if I say Danya, I'm still referring to Daniel. It's just a shortened version. Now, Vladimir Kramnik, for the past 2 years, has been launching the smear campaign against Danya. There's cheating allegations and all this other nonsense that he's been essentially going out of his way to make Daniel look bad and try to destroy his career. In a large part, I mean, you could say that maybe in some ways he succeeded. In fact, if this truly is the reason that Daniel's no longer here, I guess you could say that Kramnik, well, I just wish it was him instead. But I want to share with you guys something else, and I shouldn't say that. But if it really was the reason, I mean, I don't like to wish things like that on other people. But when I share with you, for those of you who are unaware, the things that this man made Daniel go through in the last 2 years while he was still alive, all of this in the public eye while abusing his world championship title to... By the way, I forgot to mention, Vladimir Kramnik was Daniel Naroditsky's childhood hero. So that might be an important piece of information. But he was using his status to essentially not only attack Daniel, but attack many other people. But Daniel was, for some reason, the main target. And this targeted harassment campaign was having a very visible effect on Daniel's mental health.
But this is a sustained, evil, and absolutely unhinged attempt to destroy my life. And I really don't, I'm tired of mincing words at this point. He is trying to ruin my life. He's trying to inflict emotional harm, physical harm on me. He knows exactly what he's doing. And this is one of the most wicked people that I've ever dealt with.
And we're going to be diving into a video because I want to bring it up as a reminder as to what exactly Kramnik put Daniel through. But first I want to go to Kramnik's Twitter because I feel this is worth mentioning. Because he made some posts that, quite frankly, disgust me. Starting on October 18th, weird. Noticed yesterday morning some people talking about strange recent stream of Naroditsky. He's Russian, for those of you who don't know. His English is not the greatest. But checking again in a few hours. Many things erased. All videos from his Twitch. A thread about it. Recognizable working style. Anyone that... What happened that forced them act in a rush. Or that forced them act... I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Like I said, his English is not very good. This is on the 19th. All in all, typical nowadays. World of chess, the only thing everyone cares about is looking great and pretending there are no issues, even if it's about long-term major problems. Stop this double-faced hypocrisies. for once and try helping to solve them. Image is not everything. I think here he's trying to make himself look like some kind of hero, I guess, to say, oh, Daniel's going through some kind of crisis clearly on stream, so we had better look into it. Like, you're the reason that this crisis likely happened. So, I mean, I guess maybe he felt like, yeah, his karma was coming to pass, and he wanted to try to stop the retribution that was coming his way. And people are mad about this, by the way. People are pretty much blaming him, rightly so. And we'll dig deeper into why here in a little bit. The next post on October 20th, this is after Daniel already died, seemingly conflicts with @chess.com and Freestyle Chess 1, with both of them kicking out, I think he's talking about Daniel here, both of them kicking him out from the commentator role. Had a big impact lately on Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky. Got the stream episodes. Not a doctor, but looks like something very else than sleeping pills. Hope if any real friends of him will care. Yeah, they care. Then this. Too high price paid. Man, I'm sorry, his grammar is so bad. But if I was the only person shouting about obvious long-term problems of Danya becoming alarming, requiring urgent measures from people around, while friends only cared about hiding it and erasing evidence, it's rotten to the core. And this is in response to the post I just read you, where he said that, talking about the hypocrisies and image and whatever. Then up here, he's accusing Danya of being on drugs, which, who knows if he was. That's really irrelevant. Saying, what exactly happened, because I received this 2 days ago from a friend of mine, chess fan, and at least did what I could to warn people to do something urgently in my post. To those who prefer blaming and shaming instead of helping, awful tragedy, hope properly investigated. And the messages say, Danya streaming, looks like he's on some serious drugs, quite worried, chess mafia is dangerous. I mean, he could have also just been lacking sleep, or maybe was on drugs, irrelevant. Really, I mean, in all honesty, if he was doing drugs, maybe you drove him there with some of the craziness that you put him through. Now, if we actually click on the post and we look at some of these replies, yeah, he hasn't, obviously none of these posts are giving condolences. You know, as the top comment says here, 2 posts about it and still not a condolence. Just cut the shit, motherfucker. Rest in peace, Daniel. Love, and I promise you, you will not be forgotten. I'm not gonna... Did he commit unaliving? We don't know. The cause of death has not been made public yet. Understandably so, but he was a 29-year-old guy with no health issues and clearly was struggling with something, so I think we can maybe make the assumption that it's probable that that's what it was. Most of the other comments you can't see. If we go back to the other post, there's a lot more to scroll through. Basically, this was the post blaming other people, I guess. This is supposed to be about his friends not doing anything about it, I suppose. Trying to say that he was the only person who actually cared enough to do anything about it, which is ludicrous. In fact, he was the only person pushing him to the state. Obviously, we don't know if there was anything else going on in his life, but this was the most obvious and apparent public thing that was happening for the past 2 years straight. Basically, somebody said, not a time to blame anyone now, in my honest opinion. Kramnik's like, tell it to others, maybe. And let's see the replies. This one was hidden. Oh, wait. Yeah, I can't read that on YouTube. So, yeah, we're not going to read that. We don't even know if it was suicide. I wish with all my heart that it was you instead. Okay, that's obviously, you know, what I just said not to say. But, you know, that's what this commenter said. So you managed to tweet on the situation to try to make it about you. Great job. Please shut the fuck up and have some respect. You guys get the idea. People are not happy with Kramnik. And neither am I. Which is why we're going to be going back to this video from Titanites about a year ago, titled Danya Responds to Kramnik's Cheating Allegations. And I just want you guys to have an idea of exactly what it was that Kramnik was putting Danya through. Now, I haven't seen this video. I scrolled like slightly over it because I assumed it would just be a compilation of some of the stuff that happened back a year ago. This stuff has been nonstop, but I wanted to just get some of it together. There's too much information. It's so much stuff that I cannot really put all of it into one video without making the video absurdly long. So we're just gonna watch this just as a little reminder.
And now he starts to analyze the game, and it's pretty clear that engine
Queen
is here.
H4. I have never cheated. I did not cheat in the games that he is clearly. The guy who said I.
Oh, before we get into this, actually, for those of you who don't follow chess, I feel like I should explain how you can cheat in the game of chess, since I'm sure that some of you don't play. Basically, there are engines that are computer algorithms. They're essentially an AI that you can use, whether it be on your phone, computer, whatever, that are better at the game of chess than every single human on the planet could ever hope to be, including the best chess player on Earth. They come absolutely nowhere close to the playing strength that is something like Stockfish, which is the name of the most well-known and strongest chess engine on the planet. And any human that would play up against it would never stand a chance. In fact, you could take probably every grandmaster on the planet and give them a ton of time to play against Stockfish, like an unreasonable amount of time, and give Stockfish like 90 minutes, and they would still likely never beat Stockfish. It's just not possible. It's way too strong. The computers have surpassed human capabilities far long ago. Anyway.
That he proves it's cheating. Like, I want to know which GM said that.
Don't play a victim, please, and don't play this Hikaru Nakamura game.
What did I ever do? What did I do to you? Other than treat you with respect?
Again, you're manipulating and lying. Anything can be on this wall theoretically, yeah. Danya is looking at this wall permanently when playing game.
Are you...
I just want to point out, too, that when Kramnik is saying that he's looking at the wall permanently while playing games, this does get into a actually insane sort of scenario because of this. Like, Kramnik takes this extremely far, and for some reason Danya, wanting to appease him, plays into it. But grandmasters tend to, even at over-the-board events, just look away and stare at the ceiling and calculate in their head the position because they could see the boards in their minds, and it's just something that many of them do. Danya does the same thing. A lot of them do when they're playing online chess, whether it be Hikaru or anybody else. They just look away from the board for some reason. It's just something that they do. And Kramnik, who has done this himself in over-the-board events, was accusing Danya of cheating and looking at Stockfish on the wall, basically. And this ends up essentially being a whole scenario where Danya, trying to appease Kramnik, puts a bunch of cameras into his room to try to prove to Vladimir Kramnik that he is not cheating. And Kramnik is quite literally just never satisfied. It's disgusting.
Like, this makes me furious. This is unacceptable.
And again, this is his childhood hero doing this to him. A guy that he looked up to growing up, which is why he was so willing to play into Kramnik's delusions.
I saw something, yeah, then I started to ask players, different players. I asked 5 players. Not a single one told me that bishop c8 would even cross his mind in this position, especially in 3-4 seconds. Because you see how much time.
Bishop somehow.
Uh-huh.
No, I guess I don't.
I also want to point out, though, that even though Kramnik is an ex-world champion, he's old, and in all honesty, he's, for a grandmaster with ex-world champion status, he's not very good at online blitz. He's just not. He's not even close to being a top player on chess.com in terms of when compared to other grandmasters. I mean, he's better than the average person, obviously. He's obviously a very high-ranking player, but when it comes to his peers, he is just not that good.
Bishop c8 is very interesting.
Yeah, 5-7 seconds, yeah? He says bishop c8 is very interesting. I mean, what's the point of the move? And I asked a person, I gave him this position, few seconds, he's a strong grandmaster, and asked him, what would you play? So you see the answer, h6. I'm asking anything else? Not really. I would play h6 almost immediately. I'm saying that, by the way, on top of that, he's also like very strange, he's looking up. I tell here, and the answer. I mean, I didn't make it up. For me, this bishop c8 is enough.
I also just want to point out that I find it really funny, though, that Kramnik constantly sends voice messages because he's old and doesn't want to type. I mean, everybody else is just texting him back and he's just sending voice memos. I don't know. I find it funny because I really only know a lot of old people that do that sort of thing. Totally irrelevant to this. I just wanted to point it out.
I don't need any more proof.
And the amount of people who are like fully buying the bishop c8 thing, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a spoof at first when it was. So that's why I didn't take it seriously. I've been aware of it for like 4 months. I thought it was a joke, but that Jan retweets it and a modern Super GM, this is, you know, Salem witch trials level, you know, delusional. The guy who said that he proves it's cheating, I want to know who it is. Like, I want to know which GM said that. Now, I think a lot of them were under. I feel like a lot of them were under the impression that I played Bishop C8. I'm positive of that. I did not play it. I played the move that they all said, which was H6. I mentioned it. So let's be totally clear on what this charge is. The charge is I mentioned as a candidate move in a.
For those of you who don't play chess, a candidate move is essentially where you'll get better at picking them as you play the game more, but you look for 2 or 3 moves on the board that look good, you calculate them out, and as you get better at the game, you're better at picking which moves are actually good, because for a weaker player, they're more likely to pick a move that is just not very good, but in the case of somebody like Danya, myself, or anybody else who's actually played the game for a while, they're able to narrow down very quickly the moves that look like they would work. Sometimes you still have to spend time looking for a move in a complicated position in a chess game, but really, a lot of streamers, they tend to essentially point out other moves that look like, oh, they could be interesting, and they don't play it. I've seen it happen with a lot more than just Danya. I've seen Hikaru do it. I've seen a lot of streamers do this. And realistically, it doesn't mean anything. It just means that they saw the move, and they looked at it, they didn't play it, they didn't like it. It doesn't mean they're cheating. It's just nonsense.
Quiet position 2 years ago on a stream. It played the most natural move. And that proves that is the smoking gun. That I committed the crime of thought crime, literally thought crime 2 years ago in one position. A move that happened for a completely unrelated reason to be the number 2 move of Leela, which I have never downloaded in my life. Are you like, this makes me furious. This is unacceptable. I literally explain my logic too. I said first thing I noticed is after e3, his bishop looked like it could get trapped, so I needed to control the e5 square. That's what I noticed in 2 seconds. How do you control the e5 square? There's a rook on e8. There's a bishop blocking it. I thought about moving it back. It's the most natural.
I want to take a look at this and see if I can see the logic. Bishop c8. Yeah, I mean, this position, it almost just looks like a kind of a waiting move to me, but he's just... Yeah, he obviously had some idea behind it, but it just looks like a move to wait for the opponent to do something more realistically than anything. But, I mean, yeah, I could see why you would play h6 to kick the bishop, but, yeah, and the bishop is almost trapped either way if you can push it back. It's not really trapped because, well, the pawn can just recapture, but realistically speaking, I mean, yeah, h6 could make sense, but I can see how bishop c8 could be an idea if you're just not wanting to do anything majorly in the position and you're just trying to play a waiting move. It doesn't really help or hurt it very much, in my opinion. But as far as, you know, that goes, I can't see how this is a sign of cheating. I mean, it's just saying a move is interesting. This is quite literally like when they arrest people for thought crimes in the UK now. But that's an entirely separate video that we're going to make later on at some point.
Natural square. I could find a million examples of this, probably in his games too. But the amount of people buying the bishop c8 argument, like, is just, it's scary. It's terrifying, actually, that any GM believes this. Any GM on the planet is buying the bishop c8 thing is absolutely terrifying. That Nepo is buying it is terrifying. And because it shows you that even in a game where literally skill is above everything, you can insert a twisted delusion and people will actually, like, buy it. And all of this is delivered with so much contempt for everything I say. Every time I open my mouth, it's what I say is not acceptable. It's too complicated, or it's too simple, or there's not enough lines. What did I ever do? What did I do to you? Other than treat you with respect, as I still do. you know, as I still do, and try to like depersonalize it, even though it's hard. I mean, come on, dude.
See, that's the thing, is that Daniel was respectful to him the entire time that this whole controversy was going on. In my opinion, too respectful, because I would have told this guy to, you know, fuck off a long time ago. And I wouldn't have let him continue to do what he did to Danya to me, because I really would not have cared what he had to say, whether he was my childhood hero or not. If you're going to come at me, I am going to come back at you. And I'm going to be quite honest, the allegations that he was throwing at Danya were just complete, it was almost like delusional. It's borderline delusional. And I honestly think that Kramnik needs to be checked in, or at least needs to see a psychiatrist or something, and be given some psychiatric medication, in my opinion. I think he's got something going on in his old age. And I think that Daniel was just the target of this man's delusions.
I notice a kind of strange eyes behavior, yeah? Again, it can mean different things, but it's really weird, you will see. Monitor is obviously here, it's obviously there, and what can be here on the right, I don't understand. It's for sure, he's glancing all the time. I mean, what is happening? And Danya, could you explain where are you looking all the time? Here you see again, looking there. Not really time, you know, to look outside of the monitor when you have few seconds, yeah, normally. I mean, normally you're so concentrated on the game, but here, yeah, he thinks, or I don't know, pretends to think, I don't know. Fantastic.
That's
yes.
when the last one, or at
He's
least
looking
trying.
there, looking there. I don't understand where is the chat.
That was a nice one.
Yeah, it was a nice one. Yeah, now he starts to analyze the game, and it's pretty clear the tension
Yeah, Queen
is
H4
here.
is really beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
This is
beautiful.
just a sexy move.
The way he commands, the way he doesn't, I mean, it's just he's telling such, I mean, it's not really, because after this level, I mean, after this game, okay, this guy is top 5. It's a really very top level. And then what he starts to tell when he commands, this is like, okay, this is not even really Grandmaster level. So again, I don't understand. I mean, it's like, yeah, this a little bit like this Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, I mean, what is his level?
As you guys know, I'm just getting right down to business. A lot of events in the chess world recently, the Shevchenko story, but also the trilogy by Kramnik, accompanied by many tweets, accompanied by endless hate and just vitriol in the comments, calling me all sorts of names, and now comments on my YouTube videos, calling me a cheater, 100% cheater.
Danya, don't play a child, you know. You, first of all, nobody is claiming that you are guilty, and I told it very clearly, and don't manipulate again. This is really not decent. Of course, there was no allegation, not cheating. There were questions, legit questions.
This is what he did the entire time, where he's like, I'm just asking questions, Danya, but he's not actually asking questions. They're allegations of cheating outright. He is saying Daniel's cheating, but he's trying to do it without saying he's cheating. I don't know if he just wants to avoid a lawsuit or what he's scared of, but he's doing this in such a way that he's manipulating the conversation to make it so that he has the plausible deniability to say, oh, I never said he was cheating. Maybe just in case he's wrong. I don't know. I don't know what the purpose was. But in a way, it made this entire scenario far more annoying. I'm sure far more annoying for Daniel than it would have been if he had even just outright accused him of it. But it was very obvious what he was doing. I mean, the guy was just insatiable in his campaign against Daniel and his accusations. And I think that this has quite a bit to do with why Daniel's mental state was going downhill. But let's let this continue. It's disgusting to watch this.
Which Danya, most of it refuses to answer, and what he answers actually is, I'm sorry to be straight, but it's embarrassing because it just doesn't fit, and I'm going to prove you right now that it's simply not fitting.
I consulted with a trusted super GM who I think is on my side here, and he suggested that that even among the Super Gym community, there is enough quote-unquote suspicion with the eye movements in particular that it's worth just doing this really quickly just to establish the extent of slanderous lies and the depths to which this has descended to.
Danya, I mean, this is the first. Who is lying here? What are the slanderous and what are the lies? Please, can you tell me where exactly did I lie? So, and if you cannot, and you cannot because I don't lie, I give facts and I ask questions. So
No. He didn't give facts or ask questions. It was basically Stockfish is on the wall. Oh, you showed your wall, it's not on the wall. Well, show me your lap. Show me everything else. Show me your ass, basically. That is what this entire situation boiled down to. You must be hiding the engine somewhere, Daniel. I'm gonna find it, I swear. If I'm gonna come there and hover over your freaking shoulder while you play the game just to make sure you're not cheating. That is what this scenario was. Let me fly from Russia over to your house so I can sit there and monitor you like some sort of fucking arbiter in your own house and make sure you're not cheating. That's what this situation was. And if you don't let me, I'm going to continue to slander you on the fucking internet and make you look like a piece of shit to your entire fan base as well as the rest of the chess world. That's what this was. Even though he had no evidence outside of maybe looking away for a second. Like, man, I've streamed before, right? And I obviously, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You might look away for a second. Maybe something is happening off camera for a second in the room, or maybe, you just look away because your eyes are getting strained from the computer from staring at it for too long or something like that, and you just want to take a split second to not look at the screen. There's a ton of reasons other than just cheating that you might look away for a split second. I genuinely don't believe Daniel was cheating, and Kramnik had no evidence other than his suspicions to launch the smear campaign against him and do what he did. And this is where, like, it gets disgusting. But this isn't even, like, scratching the surface of the crap that he put him through. Like, it's worse than this.
please don't manipulate public so in such a cheap way. If I lied somewhere, please tell exactly where I lied, and there was no slander at all. It was legit questions, which you most of which you don't address here, but that one which you address, I'm sorry, but I have many new questions.
If there is a small step that I can take to expose the malice and foolishness, and most importantly, just like the mendacity and manipulation in everything that he's saying and doing as part of this sudden character assassination, when most importantly, let me establish once again, I have never cheated. I did not cheat in the games that he is clearly, not accusing me of cheating in. Absolutely not.
Again, you are manipulating and lying. Let me put it very straight, because there was no manipulation, there was no, there was nothing wrong in everything is what I'm saying is according to the facts.
I just want to know what facts. The fact he looked away for 2 seconds during a game? I mean, how is that facts? It's not like he has time to sit there and put... For one, if he wanted to use Stockfish, realistically, there is absolutely no reason that he would have to do this. Let's just say, theoretically, you wanted to use Stockfish. You could just open it in another browser. There's no reason to do that. You could open up 2 windows on your same computer screen and have Stockfish running. The other thing is, you'll be playing a lot slower because you have to input the moves into the other board. Or you could just use a browser extension, but for somebody who's streaming, you can't do that because it will show up on your stream. And why would you? Cheating is obviously scummy behavior. I've never done it. I've seen examples done on YouTube to show how easy it is. And there's absolutely no reason why Daniel would ever have to put it on the wall or somewhere else. It just doesn't make any sense. If he wanted to cheat, he could have just had it on the same screen and you would never know. And he wouldn't be looking away because he'd be looking at the exact same freaking monitor. So none of this makes sense. It's just an old man with delusions.
I will share a few things about what what I would have been prepared to do if these suspicions had been phrased in a good faith manner. I'm not prepared to do these things anymore because clearly the party on the other side is not interested in actual dialogue or is not interested in me proving anything at all, but rather in just harassment. And, you know, maybe it's tied to like hatred for chess.com. I'm not going to speculate.
I want to clarify here for those of you who don't know, Daniel worked for chess.com, and there is an entire thing between Kramnik and chess.com, as well as Hans Niemann, that I'm not going to get into in this video. It's complicated, but they don't like each other, so that's why Daniel's bringing up chess.com.
But I'm not just going to like sit idly by if there's something easy I can do to disprove some of the worst allegations. You can see that here is OBS, which is open right now. This is on the monitor to my left. But normally, when I was playing Title Tuesday, I would have this open right now, the chat open right now. This is the chat. Again, the font size might have been slightly different, but it's a monitor. And then to the right of the monitor is my actual laptop. Here's the chessboard, chess.com. I have nothing else open other than Spotify and settings. I'll close settings. That's it, as I never had anything open then. And yeah, the webcam sits on top of the laptop right here, where you can see that my laptop webcam is on. I'll turn it off, but that this is where the webcam sits. Behind me is just a wall.
Yeah, it's just a wall. Anything can be on this wall theoretically. Yeah, and it's very interesting with what intensity and.
You see, this is the nonsense that I was talking about. Like, oh, this is your other monitor, but what about the wall? Why would he put it on the wall? It just doesn't even make logical sense. Like, nothing about these accusations actually makes any sense. It's just mind-boggling how stupid they are.
Interest, Danya is looking at this wall permanently when playing game.
In front of me is this couch. That's a book on Ian Fleming. Don't worry, that's not Stockfish. There are some wires on the floor that weren't there previously. They're old wires from laptops and stuff like that. My monitor is there as well. To the right is a window. I sometimes look out that window. There are trees. Nobody can climb on top of it. And this door just has some chairs in it. I'd be happy to open and show it. And then to my right is the door to the outside world. Behind me, you can see, again, old chargers. Just wires, etc., and that's my legs. This is the actual table. There's a printer, lamp, my phone, which is usually on the other side of me, but that's basically it. The ceiling has no dents or nothing installed on it. Just wanted to make sure I'd be happy to like provide a square inch by square inch breakdown.
Please, if you answer something, don't play victim, please. Nobody is condemning you, and don't play this Hikaru Nakamura game. But please, maybe next time you answer, I would really appreciate if it would fit with reality your answers, because here it's a clear proof it doesn't. And so please, next time you record something, answer me where are you looking at. And the second, if you...
Bruh, he just showed you the entire room. He just showed you his entire room. What else do you want? Like, this is what I mean. This campaign that he led against Danya was a literal witch hunt. The man was just crusading against him and trying to find something to get one over on Danya. This was just disgusting. And the amount of, I'm sure, the amount of weight that this probably, was bearing on Danya's shoulders the entire time he was still alive, and the amount of hatred that he felt from this, I can only imagine the depression this would have caused. When you have the entire internet like this, or at least a good portion of it, because there's a lot of people online, and you have a lot of these people coming to your channel, coming to your Twitch chat, and coming to your YouTube channel and everything, giving you hate comments and all these, threats and everything else, and basically slandering your character like this because somebody like Kramnik made these unfounded accusations. It's obviously going to have a strain on someone's mental health. I mean, streamers are people too. Content creators have emotions just like you and everybody else. So, for people to have to deal with something like this, regardless of who it is, now I can understand if it's like just one thing of like, oh, I think you were cheating, whatever, fine. If you want to call somebody out because you think they may have been cheating, and allow them to address the allegations, fine. But this was a non-stop crusade. This was like, once Danya proved one thing wrong, oh, well, here's another thing, here's another thing, here's another thing, here's 100 more things. Let me just keep going. I'm never going to be happy, and I'm going to always accuse you of this, no matter how hard you try to prove that it's not true. And that, my friend, is, in my opinion, it is slanderous. And what he did was extremely damaging to his overall reputation, so much so that Danya left the internet for a while, then comes back, posts one video, and then this happens. And, man, I'm just disgusted rewatching this. Man, it was disgusting to watch when it was happening, but watching it now, it's just gut-wrenching.
You pretend that I lie or I manipulate or something, well, next time maybe you give factual explanation what exactly, because you will not find.
The whole, like, don't be a victim mentality, I'm just asking for, like, you know, for reasonable measures to be taken with players who have an anomaly. Well, why didn't you start with that then? Why didn't you start by saying, listen, Daniel, with full due respect to you, I'm uneasy given this, and this. It's not an accusation, nothing personal, but could I kindly request you to play with a second camera whenever possible? I would immediately install a second camera with no questions asked. No questions asked the same day. I would have streamed to the second camera.
Oh, by the way, yeah, he did do that.
There are 800 cameras if you'd like. Was it delivered in that way? No. Okay. So is that truly what you want then? I don't think so. Am I saying anything like crazy right now? Am I being you know? As for the charges themselves, yes, they will be properly responded to in good time. Trust me, I'm not leaving anything alone here. But just if you take the bird's eye view and you put yourself in my shoes, like, hopefully I spelled out how I think.
So yeah, that was just one example. There is a lot more that we could go over, and I do mean a lot. And I don't want to sit here this entire video and just react over and over again to Vladimir Kramnik and his accusations, because they're making me sick. This video is more just a reminder to let you guys know exactly what Kramnik, even if it wasn't the reason why Daniel's no longer here, which we don't know yet, but even if it wasn't, just a reminder of how scummy this man is and what exactly he made Daniel go through while he was still alive. And it's not even just him, he's done the same thing to Hikaru and other players as well. The Russian chess players seem to all gather behind Kramnik and act like he is this champion for fair play. In reality, Kramnik can't even manage the FIDE online arena properly. This man, in my opinion, should have his title stripped from him and should no longer be recognized as a world champion. I think that that's the least he deserves after what he has done to Daniel to cause this catastrophe that we now have before us. And it hurts to know that there's never going to be another teaching video from Daniel, another response, another video to learn from. It hurts, man. It sucks. Yeah. I just hope that everybody who did learn stuff from Daniel can pay their respects. And Kramnik, go fuck yourself.